The International Association of Emergency Managers has officially designated August 2025 as the first ever National Emergency Management Awareness Month, aiming to spotlight the vital role of emergency management professionals in building resilient communities. Plenty of those resources are available throughout the community, including OakAlert. OakAlert is Oakland County's free opt-in emergency notification service that delivers timely alerts via text, email, and phone based on either your registered location or where you are at the time. Joining us right now on the Splash Live to talk about it is Emergency Management Month is Oakland County's Director of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, Thom Hardesty. Thom, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Jake. We appreciate you having me on this morning.
Absolutely. Very, very important conversation. As I said, August 2025 marks the first ever National Emergency Management Awareness Month. How does this month-long campaign aim to highlight the importance of emergency management professionals in our communities?
It's really an opportunity to start a discussion, get people to start a discussion in the home, in their business, think about things that they can do themselves to help prepare for an emergency. When disasters happen, you're going to be looking for the police or fire or somebody to respond, but in a major incident, it might take some time. So we want to make sure that people have a good plan and they can keep themselves safe until help arrives.
That's right. It's always important to have a plan in place and to know what to do when an emergency is taking effect. What types of outreach efforts are being encouraged during National Emergency Management Awareness Month, and how can local emergency managers get involved?
Every community in Oakland County has a emergency management liaison. In West Bloomfield, it's the fire chief, Greg Flynn. We have a great relationship with him and the department, as well as the police department, constant communication with them. And then for him, it's with the communities there that they serve. Making sure that they have that information, how they get information. You mentioned OakAlert. That's one of our key ways. It's not a system that you're going to get spam calls from or spam information, which we all have to deal with quite a bit. So only during emergencies, you can sign up for the type of alerts you want to get, whether it's something minor, such as traffic issues, or you only want to be notified in a major emergency. But that's where you can get information quickly. Whether it's your cell phone, a house phone, an email, you have many options that you can get to by going to Oakland County Emergency Management's website and sign up for that.
Yeah, that sounds great for people to have these notifications, to be made aware of very important emergencies that are taking effect. And as you said, there are no spam calls. They only send out alerts if it's something serious. Could you talk about maybe some of the examples of the types of emergencies or incidents that would trigger an OakAlert notification?
Absolutely. And fortunately, with the weather changes over the last few years, we've seen more of these. We will send out notifications during a tornado. We'll send them out when there are flood concerns. It could be a hazardous materials incident, whether it's a tanker truck or something that happens at a business. Giving people information. Do they need to shelter in place, or do they need to evacuate? Getting that information quickly so they can make the right choices. It's summertime right now. A lot of people have kids at home while they might be at work. So also making sure that you have these conversations with your kids at home so that they understand what they need to do in case of an emergency.
That's right. Important to get the kiddos up to date and informed as well. Important for everybody to have this information. Now, with the campaign emphasizing faster and more reliable communication, how does OakAlert compare to social media or traditional news in terms of speed and accuracy?
Well, we use several means possible. So that's going to be one of the first things that we send out. It is OakAlert. And then that will in turn put that information out on our social media pages as well. But the quickest and most accurate information you might get from there. We also have the ability in certain emergencies to use WIA notifications, which would go to your cell phone, similar to an Amber Alert. Those are only used during extreme circumstances. But again, we always look to have at least 3 different ways that we can get information to people.
Great. Love to have all this information available. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Thom Hardesty, Oakland County Director of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, as we're talking about 2025, August 2025 being the first ever National Emergency Management Awareness Month, and a lot of valuable information to take away. Now, when it comes to OakAlert, and I think you just touched on this a second ago, what steps should residents take to sign up for OakAlert, and how can they ensure that their contact information stays current?
Best way is to go to our website, oakgov.com, and type in a search for emergency management. You get a link there where you can sign up. We send, on occasion, we'll send test messages to make sure that it's working. And then they can go in and access that site whenever to check their own information, make sure it's secure and safe, and as you said, accurate and up to date.
Good. That's one of the most important things, because you don't want to move to a new location and have the alerts going to the wrong place, or like a new phone number or a new email, and have those get mixed up as well. So that's very important. Now,
and you can sign up for more than one location. You can sign up for your home, for your work. Maybe you have an elderly parent or a special needs family member. You can sign up for more than one location, so that you can get notices for more than one place.
Oh, that's even better. That's covering all the bases and making sure that every account and every number gets those alerts. So that is very, very important. Thank you, Thom, for that. How does the use of code red technology enhance OakAlert's capabilities for delivering notifications across different platforms like text, email, and phone calls?
Well, there are a number of platforms out there. Our current one is Code Red. We also go out to bid and look at these. These companies are constantly developing the technology. One of the biggest benefits is the ability for us to also be able to use GIS technology with a map to try to narrow down those messages to the appropriate. So, for example, if there's a hazardous material spill and we need to show people to shelter in place for a mile radius, we can quickly draw that on a map. Based on the address that people put in the system, it will send messages to those people who have registered and have an address within that polygon that we put on the map.
Fascinating. Really interesting to hear how the process works. I am curious, Thom, what have residents had to say about OakAlert if they've been communicating this to you and to Oakland County?
Well, actually, one of our coworkers just last week, she texted me about an incident with a storm. She said her daughter, they were outside, had some of their friends over swimming, seemed like a pretty nice day. And she was surprised when she got a notice that there were storms in the area. So she said it didn't look like it, but she tends to believe information when she sent it to her, started getting the kids together and actually just made it inside before a lightning storm hit the area. So we do get good feedback. It is important to be able to get that information again and get it quickly, and then pay attention to it when it comes.
Thom, I'll tell you, from living in Michigan my entire life, the one thing I have learned is that the weather can change like that. So I definitely can expect a storm like that to come totally out of nowhere. And it's good that there is information like OakAlert out there to inform the public. I got one more question before we wrap things up, Thom. Looking ahead, how do initiatives like National Emergency Management Awareness Month and tools like OakAlert work together to build stronger and more prepared communities in Oakland County and beyond?
Well, one of the reasons we really want to push this message out so that we can get more people to sign up. You know, if we don't have phone numbers or don't have contact information, we can't send it to them. So the Emergency Management Week is trying to highlight those concerns, those things that might take place out there, help people to get prepared and understand that one of those steps to being prepared is being signed up. If you're in Oakland County, it's with OakAlert. If you're in Livingston or Genesee, many of the other counties have similar systems. So making sure that you have access to that kind of technology.
And it's important for as many resources, or as many people as possible to have access to these resources. Thom, I want to thank you so much for your time. Why don't you tell us one more time how people can get signed up for OakAlert?
Absolutely. Go to the Oakland County website, www.oakgov.com, and then put in emergency management, and it will take you right to our sign-up page.
That's where to go, and that's where you can get all of the alerts to stay up to date on the information in your community. Thom, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you, Jake.